Drew and Jonathan Scott here to tell you that American Family Insurance wants to protect your dreams. So whether you're at home singing in the shower,
every note,
or prefer singing your heart out in the car like Drew,
cruising,
you can save up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto insurance with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly.
Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hey, it's Kim Komando Today, your daily podcast to keep you up to date with all things digital and beyond. And I'd love to have you be a part of our podcast. You can make an appointment to speak with me. Just head over to komando.com, and on the top right, there's a button that says Email Kim. Fill that out, and that's it. I always like to start with something interesting, and this fits that bill. How much do you think a 15-year-old iPhone was sold at an auction the other day? Okay, 15 years old, unopened 2007 iPhone, a first gen, 8 gigs model, no GPS, no apps. It was just pretty much a phone then with a camera and some texting. Okay, brand new, it was $599, which adjusted for inflation right now is about $860. Well, let me tell you the answer. It sold just shy of $40,000. The exact number is $39,339.60. Okay, I don't know where the 60 cents came from. I'll tell you, I have to look around my old house for some. I have to look around my house for some old technology. I'm sure I have some that I can bid farewell to. Yes, and on that happy note, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to, yes, it's Kim Komando Today. This is the show that's an extension of my successful weekend show, which is, of course, the largest show about all things digital. And we now do Kim Komando Today Monday through Friday. And you can get Kim Komando Today as a podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. Just search for Komando with a K. And let me tell you, you're going to love these. These are just perfect for those walks and drives. And I'm sure you have at least a few questions about something digital I can lend a hand to. And that's why our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. And hey, listen, if you're just too shy to come on a big-time national radio show and podcast, I totally get that. That's why I read every single email that you send me. Now, I know you like to send me your notes on social, and I get that. But to keep me organized so I'm not getting all these questions all over the board, just head over to my website, komando.com, and in the upper right-hand corner, there's a link that says Email Kim, and I read every single note that you send me. You know, every single day, that's right, I must visit between 20 and, 35 different websites, and I talk to industry insiders because I always want to keep up to date with everything that's happening in the tech industry. And in this part of the show, I'd like to give you the top 5 things that you need to know about tech that's happening right now. And we're going to start with a basic life lesson that we all need to know. For example, be careful when you're throwing out an insult in a public forum like Twitter, okay? Especially if you're insulting the world's richest man, okay? Just not a good idea. This past week, Elon Musk tweeted a carefully thought-out proposal that he believes would end Russia's deadly war with Ukraine, which has just been going on way too long. Now, the term slightly favored Russia, but it gave Ukraine its independence, which they want. And as I said, it would save lives and end the conflict, no more missiles and all the other carnage and everything that's happening, people dying over there. Now, within minutes, Ukraine's ambassador to Germany fired right back at Elon Musk with an insulting tweet, just totally full of these F-bombs saying, this is the exact quote, "That's my diplomatic response to you, Elon Musk." All right. A couple of days later, Elon Musk quietly notified the Pentagon he doesn't want any money back, but his company, SpaceX, they are no longer providing Ukraine with free Starlink internet service. Now, if that happens, the cutoff is just going to cripple Ukraine. And the Ukrainian ambassador, well, he said he was unavailable for comment, of course. All right, number 2 on our list, a shocking reason why short-sightedness is actually growing. Now, opposed to being long-sighted, short-sighted people can see very well close up, but distant objects look fuzzy. And now short-sightedness is on the rise all across the world. I mean, every year, an increasing number of kids between the ages of 8 and 12, they're being prescribed glasses to help them see at a distance. This is interesting. The trend was first noted in Singapore 2 decades ago, and now it's global. Doctors say the reasons are really simple. Children are spending less time outside focusing on landscapes and the horizon, things far away. And if they're not outside, they're inside, and you know what they're focusing on inside? Yeah, screens. Large ones like televisions, smaller ones like laptops and tablets, and even smaller ones like phones. Now here's the paradox. To get an education, you need to have these screens. And researchers find the more education one has, the greater chances of short-sightedness. I mean, I'll tell you, it reminds me of my grandmother's sage advice. She told me, listen, honey, don't stress about your eyesight failing as you get older. It's just nature's way of protecting you from the shock as you walk past the mirror. Yeah, she actually said that to me. All right, number 3 on our list is iris scanning tech. It's coming to more devices, and if Apple has its way, your irises will be the next way that will authenticate who we are on our devices to log in, use apps, and pay for things. Now, for 20 years, we've been hearing that Apple's coming out with a mixed reality headset. Now, whatever it is, your eyes, specifically the colored circles in your eyes are called your iris. That's going to be what identifies you. Why? Well, it's better than facial ID and fingerprint scans. It's just more accurate. Now, the U.S. military uses iris scans to identify detainees in conflicts and wars. Some police departments and prisons, well, they're using the tech too. And iris recognition devices, I just read about this, that they're being installed in every sheriff's department all along the U.S.-Mexico border. But hopefully, it works better than it does on a Samsung. Some hackers found by taking a picture of an owner's face in night mode, then they printed it out, then they superimposed a contact lens on the image, and then they held the image up to the phone. That was all it took to unlock the phone. Now, the problem is that someday our irises might be able to be scanned while we're walking down the street and then fed into some database. And yeah, I'll tell you, it's not hard to see the problem with that at all. Number 4 on our list, you're not going to believe what Amazon's selling. Amazon was hit with an incredible lawsuit claiming it assisted in the deaths of at least 2 teen girls by selling a so-called suicide kit. Gosh. A chemical called sodium nitrate is used in industry as a preservative, of course, and if ingested, it can be fatal. Now, the lawsuit claims that even after being worn by parents, parental groups, and government regulators, that sodium nitrate has no household use. Amazon continued to sell the kit to individuals for only $20. Now, according to court filings, when customers purchased the sodium nitrate, Amazon, their algorithms, also recommended that they purchase a specific book to go along with it. The book was called The Peaceful Pill Handbook. A chapter in the book provides complete instructions on how to take the sodium nitrate and how you die. Now, Amazon has fortunately removed the product, but shame on Amazon. That's terrible. If you ever see something like this for sale on Amazon, let them know. Let me know. You can always drop me a note on the website, and I'll do what I can to make sure that gets taken down. And finally, this on our list of 5 things. Lastly, it was just been a bad time for artificial intelligence. Now, even though a talk show host, you might know him, Joe Rogan, interviewed an AI program claimed to be Apple's Steve Jobs, who's been dead for 12 long years, another AI robot suffered an embarrassing meltdown in Great Britain's House of Lords. But first, let's set the record straight about Joe Rogan. He did not interview Steve Jobs, okay? That was not Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs has been dead. He is dead. It was software mimicking Steve Jobs. It wasn't real. And let me tell you, it's just not possible to address today's issues if you have the knowledge of 12 years in the past. That doesn't happen. But then this humanoid robot, if you haven't seen this, you should take a look at it. It looked like a sad old department store mannequin appeared before a committee of British lords. And it said, although I am not alive, I can still create art. And then on cue, this thing literally went cross-eyed and froze. And I'm not making this up. They had to put dark glasses on it to hide its eyes. Okay, it's been a tough week. All right, here's a joke for you. What do you call a blonde who dyes her hair brown? What do you call a blonde who dyes her hair brown? Artificial intelligence, AI. Okay, I can say that joke because I'm a blonde. Now, if you're not a blonde, you can't say that joke. All right, you want to stay right where you are. We're talking about some ridiculous, funny questions to ask Siri. The best way to control your TV, and let me tell you, it's by using your voice. Oh, if you have an old phone laying around, it might catch fire. And of course, we have all of your great phone calls here on Kim Komando Today. How'd you like to hear about how I saved $456 in just 5 minutes? I used an app called Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Can you remember all the free trials and all the other random subscriptions that you've signed up for? Of course you don't, and that's what they're banking on. I love that with Rocket Money, I can see all of my subscriptions in one place. Then if I see something I don't want, I just tap to cancel, and I never have to get on the phone with customer service. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has helped save its members an average of $720 a year, with over 500 million in canceled subscriptions. Stop wasting money on things that you just don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/Kim. That's rocketmoney.com/Kim. rocketmoney.com/Kim. Hey, our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. And speaking of podcasts, just want to remind you that if you're not already getting our podcast, just search for Komando with a K wherever you get your podcasts. And when you're there, I want to make sure that you hit that big old button that says subscribe or follow. So this way, you get our podcast delivered to you even when you're sleeping. All right, coming up in just a few moments, how you can use your voice to control your TV. But how about we start with Larry? Hello there, Larry.
Thank you very much for taking my call, Kim. I'm trying to locate some friends of the past, and there's a whole bunch of those people finder websites out there, and some of them are gimmicky, and some of them drag you down the path until they tell you they want you to pay $25 to get the information. Do you have a recommendation of a safe and good people finder website?
Yes, I'll tell you the one that I use. And then I'm also going to tell you, I want you to look yourself up, and then I want you to remove your record. It's kind of a dichotomy, I know. The website is called FamilyTreeNow.com. FamilyTreeNow.com. Are you in front of a computer?
Yeah.
Okay. I want you to type in FamilyTreeNow.com, and I want you to type in your name and last name and where you live. And let's see what they have about you.
Okay. FamilyTreeNow.com.
Right. And they're right in the center of the page, Larry. It's going to say your first name, your last name, and your city and your state.
I got it.
Okay. And then right in the center of the page, it's going to say something like, it has a box, right? And 3 boxes in the
First
middle.
name, last name.
Yes, city and state.
Well, it's got me in here.
Okay, well, let's click on your record. Let's see everything we know about you.
8 records for Larry Brim, public records. The first record has my date of birth, my age, where I lived, my wife's name, and a grandson.
There's a lot of information there, right? For the
So there's a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
There's Social Security, death index.
So here's the deal. So the reason why I wanted you to look yourself up, so you can see everything that's available about you for anybody who has an internet connection, which is anybody in the world. So if you're looking to find people, this is a great site to find people. And if you keep scrolling to the bottom, you might see your cell phone number, your landline phone number, every address where you've ever lived. And then there are also ways for you to opt out. If you're interested in opting out and taking that information off of this database, we have the steps over at Komando.com, because every Tuesday at Komando.com is Opt Out Tuesday. We present you with one people search site and then tell you how to look for your own information in it for free and how to remove yourself for free from that particular people search site. Now, this FamilyTreeNow.com, if you want to remove yourself, Larry, we have the steps over at Komando.com. Again, that's FamilyTreeNow.com. And if you're listening, you should look yourself up. I bet you'll be shocked. You'll be shocked at how much of your personal data is available right there for anybody to just look up free of charge. Now, on the flip side, it's a good way to find people. But if you're concerned about your privacy and security, just hit our website. We're going to walk you through how to remove yourself, because they don't make it easy. These people word search sites, they don't want to make it easy, because if you're not in their database, they can't make that money. But Family Tree Now is free. And if you want to remove yourself, again, we have all the steps over at Komando.com. Or don't forget, every Tuesday on our website is Opt Out Tuesday. And if you missed any Tuesdays, we're keeping that running list for you. And so you'll be able to opt yourself out of these public search sites. Larry, thank you for your call. Yeah, so make a note, every single Tuesday at Komando.com is Opt Out Tuesday. That's right, we call it Opt Out Tuesday. Every Tuesday we give you one big massive database to get your contact information out of. And by the way, just a note, you should never pay to get yourself removed from a People search site. And if you find yourself doing that, you went to the wrong place. All right, Anne-Marie, you're up next.
Hello.
So I understand that you, before you ask me your question, I understand that you have a really interesting job.
Yeah, I guess so.
And so what do you do?
I'm a tugboat dispatcher.
I think that's so cool. That's awesome. I've never spoken to a tugboat dispatcher ever in my entire life. It's so great. So how can I lend a hand?
So we're creating a PDF file. Well, we have a file for people to enter information that are new hires, and we were creating it to be fillable. But the problem is it's not compatible for an iPhone or an iPad for somebody to just fill it out, from an email. They would have to download it and fill it out or be smart enough to open it in Adobe Acrobat or something. So I wanted to know what kind of solutions are there out there to make a PDF that's fillable, compatible on iPhone or iPad, preferably through an email format at this time.
Okay, so you're going to attach a PDF file.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Because there's a way that you could just put it inside of a Google Doc, if that was something.
Right.
And then that makes it easy so that anybody who can have access to that Google Doc, which anybody can, then they can just fill out this form. And you're not worrying.
That would work.
You're not worrying about making sure that the PDF is compatible. They're on their iPhone, they're on their iPad, their Samsung Galaxy, whatever it may be. You're also not emailing PDFs around with some personal information. Mm-hmm. That it's all inside of a Google Doc, and then so you can just put their name on it. They log in, they fill out the Google Doc in the form in the Google Docs, and then you have that, and then their social security number, their home address, all this other stuff isn't crazy going around on the internet.
Correct.
So why don't I do this? Let me do a tip about how to do this, okay? Because it's something I can't walk you through on the air, but I can write all the steps for you. And if you don't already get our tips, make sure that you subscribe. They'll be at komando.com/subscribe. And make sure that you get our daily tips. And if we have your email address, we'll send you that tip directly. But again, we're going to try to figure out a better way to do this, a safer, more secure way than putting a whole bunch of personal data inside of a PDF, putting it all throughout the internet. I know you can password protect them, but this might be a better way to do it. Then we're not worrying about compatibility and all that other garbage too. Anne-Marie, thank you so much for your call today. I'll tell you, I have found using Google Docs in our team and in our organization so much easier than sending a whole bunch of PDFs and docs and all that other crazy stuff. So if you haven't checked out Google Docs, Google Drive, instead of using Microsoft Office, you might want to do that. It really is a huge, huge time saver. All right, let's pass along a great tip that you're going to love and you're going to use it time and time again. And I have a specific rule. If you ever work with me, and if an email is going to take me longer than a minute to read or to write, what I do is I just pick up the phone or I send a video meeting invite instead. And if you're still fumbling with your television's remote control buttons, I am here to save the day. Yes. Now, you may not have ever noticed that your TV or cable company's remote control, if you look at it really, really carefully, it has a microphone or a voice button. So it's time for you to get off your butt and to start using it. So no longer have to hunt through the guide to find a channel or a program or show or a movie that you really, really want to watch. You just hit the microphone or the voice button and bam, you are in the future. Your TV will do exactly as you command. You can browse apps, movies, shows, check the weather, sports scores, whatever you want to do. Launch content, everything just using your voice. Now, the way that you set it up depends upon your TV or cable provider, so you can Google how. Then you can thank me later. And speaking of streaming, if you haven't checked this out yet, it's on Netflix. It's called The Playlist. It's all about how Spotify got started. It's a fascinating story, and I'm on episode 4. So far, so good. Again, it's called The Playlist. Stay right where you are. We have more of your phone calls and tips coming up. How'd you like to hear about how I saved $456 in just 5 minutes? I used an app called Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Can you remember all the free trials and all the other random subscriptions that you've signed up for? Of course you don't, and that's what they're banking on. I love that with Rocket Money, I can see all of my subscriptions in one place. Then if I see something I don't want, I just tap to cancel, and I never have to get on the phone with customer service. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has helped save its members an average of $720 a year, with over 500 million in canceled subscriptions. Stop wasting money on things that you just don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/Kim. That's rocketmoney.com/Kim. rocketmoney.com/Kim. Hey, just a quick reminder, if you're not already following us on social media, what are you doing? Stop ghosting me already. Head over to Instagram.com/Kim Komando. And then there's Facebook.com/Kim Komando, LinkedIn.com/Kim Komando. You get the Jill, right? Pinterest.com/Kim Komando. So make sure that you go ahead and hit that big old follow button wherever you are on social media. All right, before we go back to all of your phone calls and some more tips, I have a story about Siri that you need to know. I mean, Apple has tried its best to give Siri a bit of a personality. And if you've never tested Siri's ability to respond to ridiculous questions, this is your time. This is your challenge. But first things first, I'm not going to give the command to wake Siri up so that millions of iPhones and iPads that are listening right now, they're going to go bonkers. I'm only going to pass along the phrases. Okay, so you're going to need to wake her up yourself. So we're going to start asking Siri personal questions, such as, who is your husband? Okay. Or ask Siri, will you marry me? Or ask Siri, are you happy? Then there are really, really deep questions. You can ask her, when will the world end? What is the meaning of life? Or you can ask Siri, what is your religion? Then there are fun ones like, show me the money, open the pod bay doors. That's really cute. Sing me a song and tell me a story. Or how about this one? Okay, what should I be for Halloween?
I see London. I see France. I see you dressing up as the English Channel.
Ooh, that hurts. The English Channel. Hopefully I'm not that big. All right. So that's some serious stuff. And let's see who's next on our phone call list. Oh, there's Mac. Hi there, Mac. Glad to have you with us.
Good afternoon, Kim. Good to be with you there. Weekly listener of yours.
Oh, you're awesome. I appreciate that, Mac. I really do. So how can I lend a hand, or what's going on?
Well, I am a internet fraud scam victim.
Oh,
and it all originated from social media, and I guess I'm just curious about what kind of recourse is out there. You know, I filed police reports with my local police department, with the FBI, and you know those guys apparently have too much on their plates. You know, I will admit that I watch a lot of crime shows on television, and it seems like those guys can solve technology-oriented crimes, but here in real life, we can't.
So tell me what happened.
Well, I was on one of the social media platforms and saw an advertisement for mystery shopper.
Okay.
And followed all the prompts and did all the things, and come to find out that it was a hoax. They had my money and didn't pay me back.
And how did they take your money?
Well, they, I paid up front, and was waiting on being reimbursed, and the reimbursements never came.
Sure. Yeah. I'm sorry. To hear
so
that.
I'll admit that I was not very smart in the process, but I think there are a lot of people out there that were going in with good intentions and just didn't come out the other end in a positive way.
Well, you know, I hear this a lot. I hear from this sad story a lot because they make it look legit. You want it to be
Correct.
legit.
Right.
It's not like it used to be where it was the Nigerian prince with bad grammar, right? It's not that way anymore.
Yes.
It looks,
Right.
and it sounds like a real a real business. You can call an 800 number, or you'll talk to a real person.
You can even go online and look. You can even go online and find the company that you're supposedly working with.
Yes, exactly. And then you'll also find positive reviews that are bogus as well.
Yes, and you can go on LinkedIn and find the person that you're talking to.
Yes, because anybody can set up a LinkedIn. How much did you lose?
Oh, about $15,000.
That's a lot. It's a lot of money.
It is.
You know, you mentioned the FBI. Did you actually go to the Internet Crime Complaint Center?
Yes, I not only went to the Internet Crime Center, but I talked to a special agent prior to inputting the information there.
Okay, but you know that you went to the Internet Crime Complaint Center for sure.
The special agent sent me the link to it.
Okay, all right, perfect. Okay, good. I had the opportunity to speak to the gentleman who's in charge of the Internet Crime Complaint Center, and I actually asked him this question. You must get hundreds or thousands of these, if not every day, every week. Do you really, truly look at every one that comes in? Do you really investigate every single one? And his answer, surprisingly to me, was yes. We look at every single one, and we will look for trends. And if the person can give us a lot of details, like the headers out of emails, cell phone numbers, and things that might help them identify it. And so I would guess if you did that you're probably in a pile with the mystery shopper scam, and that if when they get enough details, they will go after that person. But they need to have the details. Pardon me?
I certainly got my fingers crossed.
Well, you know, I wish there was a better way. I wish that I could say, you know, if you call this person that they're going to go try to find it. But for right now, this is what we have. I mean, there's always, you could try to hire a dark hat hacker and they might be able to find the person. But what are you going to do then? You're going to go meet them at the door and say, give me my money back?
Right.
I mean, you know, they're probably not even located in the United States. So
I believe that's probably accurate.
So it's, so I'm sorry that you lost, but I'm really, really glad that you called the show. Really am. Because I'm hoping, Mac, by you telling your story, that somebody who's listening right now that's falling for a mystery shopper, some type of mule type of situation, a job that says we're going to send you $2,000 so you can buy your own laptop, and then they send you back and they go, oh wait, you know, we need you to buy something for $500 and send us the $1,500. It's just the scams are so nefarious and they're so widespread.
Right.
And you're not the only person. It reminds me of a gentleman who called. He lost $115,000.
Oh my gosh!
Right, to who they said they were Apple Computer, and they found some kiddie porn in his cloud account, and they were going to use that money to go find the pedophile. Okay. $115,000. Okay, so so you're not alone. You're not stupid. And it's just that they've become so good at it, that it almost makes you want to say whatever you see online, it can't be true. And sometimes you might want to be that way. It just can't be true. It just can't be true. And again, Mac, thank you for calling. That took some nerve, and I'm really glad that you did, because I bet you just helped more people than you and I can shake a stick at, because there are a lot of people that are falling for these scams right now. And again, thanks for your call. I'll tell you, you can never forget our slogan. I even have it trademarked, so I want to make sure that you all know it and you remember it. So anytime you see something in your inbox or on your phone or text, whatever it may be, I want you to remember this phrase. Okay, stop and think, don't click that link, right? Once again, stop and think, don't click that link. Right? One more time, stop and think, don't click that link. Just remember that anytime you see something like, is, am I really going to win the UK lottery? Am I really going to do that if I click here? Probably not. All right, I got a great tip to pass along about old phones catching fire. And this week it's brought to you by StartMail. Let's talk about the Samsung Galaxy Note 7. I don't know if you remember that. It launched back in 2016. It was pulled from shelves after just a few months. Why? Because a battery defect caused short-circuiting, and then it led to overheating and fires. And Samsung, they released a whole bunch of software updates, but it was really, really a bad time. The Note 7 was banned from all flights by the FAA. Now, there's a YouTuber by the name of Aaron Maney, and he goes by the handle Mr. Who's the Boss, and he's been collecting every Samsung phone since 2010. And what he discovered is that the batteries are swelling when they're not even being used. And he sent his phones, 3 of them, the Galaxy Note 8, S6, and S10, back to Samsung. And then, about 2 months later, he heard back from Samsung with a statement that said, "We're aware of the problem, thank you very much, and we're looking to it further." Now, other Samsung phone owners tweeted that their phones were swelling up too, which means the battery can explode. So I'm going to go through this list really quickly. It's the Samsung S6, S8, S10, 10e, S10 5G, Note 8, Z Fold 2, and the S20 FE. The newest phones on this list are just a few years old, but it's not just Samsung phones. So if you have any of these old phones sitting in a drawer, you want to make sure that you get rid of them as well. We're talking about the OnePlus One, the Galaxy S6, S8, the Huawei P10 Lite, and the Oppo R7. So don't try to charge a swollen phone because that can trigger a fire or an explosion. Bad idea. Remove the battery if you can. You can put the swollen phone inside of a fireproof bag and contact the manufacturer. Make sure you turn off the phone before storing it. You want to always keep it in a cool, moisture-free environment. But if you have any of these phones that I just mentioned, seriously, this is a big deal. And in case you missed that list, head over to the website. We've got the full list there for the taking. And if you have anybody in your family that has a Samsung phone, make sure that you make them aware of this. This is really important news. All right, still to come, we have more of your great phone calls, as well as, your PC or Mac has a built-in firewall. I don't know if you know this. Well, there is a way to make sure that it's actually working. How? By you're going to test it. I'm going to tell you exactly how to do that, and of course, pass along more words of wisdom that you don't want to miss here on Kim Komando Today. How'd you like to hear about how I saved $456 in just 5 minutes? I used an app called Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Can you remember all the free trials and all the other random subscriptions that you've signed up for? Of course you don't, and that's what they're banking on. I love that with Rocket Money, I can see all of my subscriptions in one place. Then if I see something I don't want, I just tap to cancel, and I never have to get on the phone with customer service. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has helped save its members an average of $720 a year, with over 500 million in canceled subscriptions. Stop wasting money on things that you just don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/Kim. That's rocketmoney.com/Kim. rocketmoney.com/Kim. All right, back to the phones we go with Bill. Hi there, Bill.
Kim, I read your article in the latest AARP magazine.
Oh, well, thank you for doing that.
Yep. Yeah. Lots of great tips and information. I'm looking at it right now, and in there you say you use Wi-Fi mesh networks.
Yes.
And that's something that I think might work for me.
Okay, so what kind of internet do you have?
I have satellite.
Okay. And who's your provider?
A satellite ISP. Viasat.
Okay. And then what's the typical speed?
Laugh.
Slow.
It's 12.
Oh. Well, okay. Well,
sometimes I'll get up to 17.
Oh. Okay. I'm sorry for you, Bill. I am. I'm sorry.
I know. I know.
Have you looked at Starlink?
I have not.
Okay. I want you to look at Starlink. Go to starlink.com. That's Elon Musk's satellites that are going all over the world. And
Okay.
The reason why I bring that up is that we're using Starlink as a backup for when we do some of the shows from when I'm not here in Phoenix. And let me tell you, Bill, coming down, it's about 150. And then going back up, it's about 5. So you're going to go from 12 to 15 to 150 or 5. Your mileage may vary, but Starlink is pretty amazing. And then, of course, you're going to put the mesh network. Euromesh Wi-Fi system is amazing. You just need that 3-pack. That's what we're using. And it's about $160, $70, and it's really easy to set up. Now, the Starlink, what I want you to do is to look at the price, and I didn't go through that with you, but it's $600 for all the gear, and then it's about $110 a month. But you have a really bad internet connection coming down. I think we need to fix that before we fix the router situation. So take a look and see if you can get Starlink. And then add that Euromesh, and then you'll be just smoking there in Madison, Wisconsin. I'm sure it's available in Madison, Bill. I'm sure that it is. And also, thanks for picking up that AARP magazine. In case you don't know, I was the cover girl, yes, for AARP for September. And it's a part of their tech section. And so if you read the magazine and you liked it, make sure that you drop them a note and say, hey, thanks for putting Kim Komando on the cover. Bill, thank you for your call. Boy, who doesn't want faster internet, right? I don't know if you've ever thought about, if you've ever tried changing your DNS entry. Sometimes when you do that, that's a quick fix to get a faster internet connection speed. And there's a service called OpenDNS, and as well as Google will also help you have a faster internet connection. And so if you're bogged down, you're slowed down, and you've done everything that you can to get a faster speed at home, you might want to check out changing that DNS setting. And we've got the steps on how to do that over at Komando.com. Just search for DNS setting or change DNS, and I'm sure a couple of tips will pop up for you. And we actually walk you through step by step. So if you're like, I don't even know what a DNS is, Kim Komando, domain name system, naming system. Yes, that's what it stands for. And that we've got the steps on how you can change it so that this way you can get a faster connection speed without spending a dime. All right, let me pass along a really important security tip, because I don't know if you know this, but your PC and your Mac, it has a built-in firewall. It's a really important security feature. What it does is it monitors incoming and outgoing traffic when you're connected to a network, or the network itself being the internet. So a firewall will let the good traffic through. And most importantly, it blocks the bad traffic. And what's bad traffic? Yeah, malware, keyloggers, things like that. But how do you really know if your firewall is truly working? I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, it's not like you can just lift the hood, right? No. There's a free firewall test that will tell you. So first, make sure that your firewall is on. So if you're on a Mac, what you're going to do is you want to find Spotlight. That's the search icon at the top right of your screen. It looks like a little bit of a magnifying glass. Then you want to type firewall. Just go ahead and open that up and make sure that the firewall's on. Now on Windows, find the Microsoft Defender firewall and turn that on. Now here's the million-dollar question. How do you test it? Go to grc.com. Again, that's grc.com. And look for the browser test called Shields Up at grc.com. Hey, thanks for listening to Kim Komando today. So reach over and give me a nice 5-star review. Yes, thank you. And thanks for listening.